I'm excited about my traveling to Paris and a little bit sad because I have to leave this beautiful city. Probably I will come back here. Hello, Becky, and everyone who joined before. Probably I will come back here someday because it is so beautiful and there are so many things just to explore, to take pictures, to walk. And Vienna definitely needs more time than 4 days. And actually, I didn't have chance to explore everything because when I'm having tours, I have to plan them, then to walk around, then to prepare something interesting to tell to you. So it's it's not my native city, so we will discover it together. Behind me is beautiful city hall. You can see how it is majestically illuminated and uh, just just amazing to be here at night. Very clean, and the trees are beginning to blow. So I'm very excited to have my last tour here in Vienna, and then we're heading to Paris. Today we will Today, we will walk along the streets and listen to the romantic stories that happened here many years ago. Please let me know, are there any people from Vienna? Are there any people who have been here? And how do you think? How many days is it enough for this city? Yes, Yana, well, thank you for your comment. I just don't see it. I loved your comments last night at the end of your tour. You lost. Yes, sometimes I am emotional, and you can hear these comments because I'm a Ukrainian guide. Some people were writing me in the comments that you need to stay away when you are on the other cities, and like people joined your tour to, for example, learn something about Vienna or about Prague and to begin to tell about Ukraine. But I'm sorry for those who really want to just to immerse into European history. And here I am, Ukrainian guide, mixing everything up and telling you some stuff about Ukraine, some stuff about Vienna or Prague. This is the virtual touring, and everything is unprepared. So this might happen. So yes, it must be said. So yesterday I really felt like a little bit sad about this. The whole price of the war is just unbearable for me, unbearable to see everything. I can elaborate on that and continue, but actually my countdown shows me that it's the time to start. And you are mentioning that it needs like a lot of time to explore Vienna, and Rita is coming here in June and only had 1 day. 1 day it's just to see, I don't know, Maria Theresia on the square, and that's all. 2 days. So Vienna is a very compact city. You can explore it and don't kind of kill your feet. But still, yeah, yes, really, even 4 days is not enough. For example, you want to visit opera house. It means that you set the time and you need to go there. Have the Danube River, and also if you want to explore Schönbrunn Palace. So everything is manageable, but still needs time. So welcome everyone. I'm excited to greet you on my last tour in beautiful, blossoming Vienna. Vienna is a city of music because it remembers Mozart, it remembers Vivaldi, and today we will talk about some of the composers. Vienna is the city of imperial court of Habsburgs, and we will see a lot of palaces. Today, I'm not going to overload you with the history, with the historical facts, with these architectural styles. No, we will talk about love stories, a little bit about crime, just storytelling, and beautiful sightseeing. Thank you so much, Barrett, for tipping. Thank you so much. Oh, like someone was sending me tips. Thank you, everyone who supports me, and thank you so much, Colleen. We are starting our walk just in front of the city hall. Um, It's so beautiful. I wish it could be a little bit more illuminated, but still, it has amazing clock at the upper part, and there is some light. So, what is the plan? We will walk along the dark city streets to the most beautiful passage. It's something, I don't know, miraculous. Thank you so much, Julia, for tipping. So, we will walk along the dark streets. Then I will take you to the bright passage, and then along again dark streets, and we will finish near the majestic entrance to Hofburg. I have showed you already Hofburg during the daytime, but it is so magnificent with the lights. So please stay up to the end of the tour, and you will be rewarded with a night Hofburg, not complete tour, but the glimpse of night imperial palace. This is something special, and I want to make it a casual walk. You may ask me questions. You can just leave your comments. You can chat. I'm the guide who likes people chatting. So I'm excited to spend my last time in Vienna with Hago. Thank you so much for tipping, Mike. Thank you. I'm flipping the camera. That is the theater. If it's open, I will take you inside. I'm not sure, but Olga is the guide who likes to go inside. Thank you so much, Carol, for tipping. Thank you. Oh, Cindy, I'm glad that you have joined ours. So we are beginning near the city hall. I will not come close to it, but I will show you how it's just insanely beautiful at night. Just amazingly beautiful. Um, so Vienna is a city of music. Vienna is a city of dreams, and it's a city of love and some sad stories that happened here because not everything was good with this monarchy, with these emperors. Habsburgs lived here, they died here, and they have their secrets. So we will talk about their secrets and their lives. And the first story will be about Princess Sisi. So when you are here, you will see Sisi everywhere. She's just a symbol of Vienna. She was a beautiful young Bavarian princess who married Emperor Franz Joseph in 1854, and their marriage was arranged, but how somehow they loved each other. They enjoyed the city music and the art and culture, but they really had a lot of challenges because Sisi suffered from depression, from the health problems. Um, and they stayed married until she was assassinated at the age of 60. But I will tell you the story, and at the end, I will ask you, how do you think, like, did Sisi and Franz Joseph really loved each other? If you probably are familiar with the story, you can just drop me the answer, your opinion in the chat, because there is a famous movie about Princess Sisi, and it's a tradition in Austria. They show it every Christmas, and everybody knows this princess. So she's the icon. She was so beautiful. And I will tell you a little bit about this lady who was ruling this empire and became a legend on these lands. So if you don't know, or even if you have never heard about her, this is the time for you to listen. Thank you for watching. And I will remind again to you that I am not a native Austrian guide. I'm a Ukrainian guide from Ukraine. So I discovered this magic place with you, for you, and for myself as well. And you can always feel how excited I am when I see these amazing city lights. Let's enjoy this beautiful evening together. Mhm. Again, my eyes. So that is no, this is the city hall, and we are going. So was she happily married or not? This is the question. And when they got married, 6 months later, she became kind of not very happy about this arrangement, and she found that the court life is very boring and She was suffering from the strict protocol, of the official duties of her as the empress, but she was very beautiful. And so Claudia, probably you are the guide in Austria. There is a guide in Austria. Her name is Claudia. More probably you are Claudia. I don't see the Claudia M. Claudia, are you Claudia? Are you Claudia guide? Ah, dear Claudia, please correct my mistakes if I will be mentioning something wrong. And just keep in mind that I love the city, and I love all the cities where I guide them. And I want to kind of guide with passion, and I would like uh, to show my love to the city, and hopefully they like the people will come and visit you and hire you as a personal guide, because I am here just for 4 days. So guys, please contact Claudia M, official tour guide in beautiful Vienna. Love you all. This is the beginning of the tour. Let's go. Claudia, what theater is this? I know that this is the theater, Burger Theater. So this is the theater, and we are going to visit it if they will allow us to go. So a few words about our first story, Sisi. Sisi is the most famous empress, definitely in Austro-Hungarian Empire, and she became she became the empress here, and she loved horse riding. She participated herself in the many tournaments, but she had her own kind of quirky traits of her character, or some some strange rules that she tried to follow. For example, when she turned 35, she didn't allow anyone to paint her like on the picture, or just to take photographs of her. And she was wearing the blue veil, and she was carrying an umbrella and a large fan just to cover herself in case someone could come and see her face. I'm not sure if like 35, for me it's a very young age. I'm older than 35, and I think that 35 is not the age to cover your face. Yes, exactly, Eliza. This is the Ukraine sign. Stand with the Ukraine. And I am very glad that I can see the signs of support in Vienna. So, as I told you, she tragically died on the 10th of September in 1898, and she was murdered by the Italian anarchists. Actually, she uh, she was stabbed in the heart, and she just collapsed several minutes later, but died the next day. So she died not at this at that moment when he killed her, and she managed to survive a couple of hours, but unfortunately, nobody could help her. Actually, that anarchist, he was planning to kill some another person, probably someone who belonged to the French kind of French dynasty, but he wasn't in the town in Geneva, and unfortunately, he killed. Princess Sisi. That was a great tragedy for the whole country because people adored her. Um, I don't know why here in Austria the red lights are lasting for so long. Um, Finally, we have green light and we will go. Uh, so we are coming. No. So I was waiting for a minute and now I need to run. Like, I don't know, like a fox. Yes, Netflix has got series about Sisi, and a lot of movies about her was shot. Um, she was obsessed with her hair and with her waist. She was training and doing the workout all the time. And she had very beautiful hair, the chestnut locks, and her, her servants were combing and brushing it for several hours. Sometimes it takes her the whole day to dry the hair if she was washing them. uh, and you can see everything that belonged to her in Hofburg in the palace. There is her kind of workout tools and her rooms and even her brushes. So I'm just. Guys, I'm walking here around the theater and showing you the place, but I'm telling you the stories that happened about Sisi, about her son who was murdered and killed his lover, and about Mozart. So you will hear the stories. This is the concept of the store, and you will see amazing architecture. So I'm not going to focus, for example, on this theater when it was built and who performed here. So just enjoy listening to my narrative, and Claudia will help me. um, so she was Princess Sisi was famous for her waist, for her slim figure, because she always tried to weigh not more than 50 kilograms. Um, and she was really very, very beautiful. But this didn't that wasn't easy for her because she was always on the diet, and she was following all fancy kind of diets, drinking just broth, not eating anything. So she was trying to drink milk and eat eggs, and she avoided meat. Instead, she was drinking a lot of juice and broth. So, can you imagine, for example, at the age of 60 to maintain 50 uh, kilograms? So, the name of the theater is Burger Theater. But unfortunately, she died, and Emperor Joseph was was mourning. He never married again. There are rumors. They were told that sometimes she even was exercising with the mistress of her husband. I don't know. Historian books don't write about that. But of course, probably the emperor wasn't loyal to her, wasn't faithful during all his life. Let's go and try to go inside the theater. So there is the door was open, but yesterday I went inside another door. I'm sure. No, it's closed. We will go. She has been compared to Diana. Yes, there are such comparisons because of this death and because that she was extremely beautiful and elaborate. Here in Vienna, you can even buy all things for the hairstyles, like the pins and beautiful things that you can decorate your hair with. So I'm trying to conquer this theater somehow to show you the interior. I remember I was here and there was a huge staircase, beautiful staircase. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you see, they allowed me to go inside. I'm very lucky. They are very kind in Austria. They always uh, let to go inside and see just a little bit of interior. But there was another letter. I remember it was stunning. I don't remember where it is. So how many people are on board? About 58 people. Are there 58 glasses? You can take one and drink. Cheers. Kind of. We are all together continuing our journey. It is on the side. Yes, Claudia. I remember, yes, I was entering somehow from the side, but I just pulled the door and it was closed. But there was the majestic staircase. This entrance is not as beautiful as the one with the staircase. Thank you. But anyway, we could go inside and we will continue. And my next story will be about the son of Princess Sisi. His name was Rudolf. His name was the Crown Prince of Austria. And in the end of the 19th century, in 1889, Prince Rudolf and his mistress, his lover, her name was Baroness Vetsera. They were found dead together in the Imperial Hunting Lodge at the place called Meiring. And it's not Vienna, it's 20 kilometers away from Vienna. But this strange, absolutely strange murder was kind of a mystery for many people because nobody knows were they murdered or did they kill themselves. Can you imagine that, like, one of the most important people in a person in the country kills himself and kills his mistress? That was the so-called murder-suicide pact. His mistress was very young, just 17 years old, and that was a huge tragedy for the empire. Um, so he went there to this place to spend some time with her. And he really loved a company of women, and probably he was tired of his wife and he wanted some new impressions. There were a lot of rumors about Prince Rudolf. People were saying that he had about 30 children, illegitimate children. He had a wife, and this marriage was arranged, and they even had daughter, but he had so many mistresses and lovers that finally he caught a disease. He caught syphilis, and that meant that he couldn't have kids anymore, and also his wife couldn't have kids because he infected her, and that was a big deal because they had daughter, and daughter couldn't kind of be the empress. So no more children for him, and this meant that there would be no heir to them, kind of to the empire. So his succession could never have passed him, and that was huge tragedy for him. And that is why he had a lot of ladies trying to probably comfort himself. Um, so one day, one winter morning, his body and the body of his mistress, were discovered in this lounge. I will show you that one. It's also a beautiful passage. So she was very young, just 17 years old, and they were lying together in this hunting lodge. So the details of this murder were very unpleasant because this mistress was naked, and there were goodbye letters, goodbye notes that explained that they shot, that Rudolf shot the lover, this lady, and then he shot himself. And At first, the official court, decided not to tell about this. They decided to tell that it's just the heart attack. But it was difficult to hide everything because the details leaked to the press, and uh, it was also so this is the entrance, but it's closed. Yes, this is the beautiful staircase. I recognized it. So somehow they had to explain to the church that he could be buried in the proper way, and that is why the doctor stated that he was just insane, and that is why he killed himself and killed her lover. But it looks like the real suicide. It was kind of a suicide pact between the lovers. Probably because he was married and he wanted to divorce, but he couldn't get this divorce, and the family of the lover was also not happy with this connection. I wonder if he had to pay harsh money. Who knows? I am not sure about money, but these loveless marriages are not uh, leading to anything good, even among the aristocracy, because between the princes and kings and queens, that is always sometimes the case. Then the royals, they are not thinking about the love, they are thinking about their ears and the throne. um, but that was a very strange case, and a very strange death, and a very strange and tragic page of the Austrian history. I will post you the image of this poor prince, uh, and Prince Rudolf and her mistress, Vetsera. That happened at Meiring. So who knows? Have they killed themselves or not? um, Really, there were many kind of conspiracy theories about this case, because some people were suggesting that he was suffering from the real mental illness, and or probably he was even involved in the some kind of political um, conspiracy against his father, Emperor Franz Joseph. And some people were stating that probably this lady, Mary Vetsera, she was pregnant, and that is why he wanted to take her life and then his life. Who knows? That what is clear that he really had a depressive traits of character, and uh, this is a strange suicide, because a few months before this happened, he was coming to another lady, and he was proposing to her, kind of suggesting to make the same thing, and this lady refused him. And that is why he decided to go and convince another lady to join him in this suicide attempt. But there were the letters, and the letters were proving that they killed themselves, and this is the real story. If you visit that place today, the Marilyn, you will see that Emperor converted this place into the monastery, and they built the church there. And uh, anyway, people will always remember this tragedy of the Habsburgs dynasty that happened in that place. And people were creating movies, people were creating, I think, even the ballet and the plays according to this story. Very tragic story. And sometimes even the kings and emperors are not happy with their fate. So now we're walking along the dark street, and I would like to show you just the architecture. Sometimes there are lamps, they are kind of sensitive, and you can see. I just worked on. Oh, now you can see the beautiful interior. The streets of Vienna are very clean, and sometimes you can see the horses. Now we will go to the old part, and I hope that we will see a lot of carriages. So, my next story will be about Mozart. And to let you dive uh, into the atmosphere of Vienna, let's listen to my favorite music of Mozart. And now we will come to the amazing building. Claudia, if you are still here, please let me know what building it is. Yesterday, I was walking here and I was just marveling at the. I think this is the most beautiful and elaborate entrance just in front of ours. Hello, everyone. So we are coming to the beautiful entrance, and then I am taking you to the secret passage, or where you will see how people are just enjoying the life. And Vienna is about luxurious life. It's when you forget about money and you really can go to that cafe, buy yourself that piece of cake, and listen to the music. So I am showing you one of the most beautiful doors that I could find here. And you are listening to Mozart, Song of Angels. Yes, it's really stunning. It's so beautiful. Sometimes you find the lamps and the majestic entrances, and you think how people could create this and not be happy, like this Prince Rudolf, for example. There is some kind of crown up above the entrance, but my camera cannot. So you can see probably the symbol of the family. And we will go now. So you have listened to Mozart, and now you will hear the story of his life. So he was born in 1756, and he was born in Salzburg. He was a very unusual child. He was really gifted from the very beginning. He was very special, and he became famous. Famous kind of everywhere for his heavenly music. His music really conquered the world. Today I was um, picking up this melody and I couldn't decide what music I would like to play here. So I decided to play the Song of Angels, but he has a lot of other compositions which are just amazing. And during his life, he composed more than 600 pieces of music. And he was not very handsome guy. He was a member of aristocratic society, and he flirted with many ladies. So let me show you the dresses, and then I will continue my story about Mozart. I don't know why, but this kind of fashion is popular in Vienna. I will show you. I absolutely love the color of this dress. It's just heavenly blue. It's so beautiful. It's special blue color, and the shoes matching it. So not strikingly blue, not like you see emerald, but very soft and subtle shade of blue. And this one. Okay, I forgot to mention the price. 690 euros. 690 euros for this dress. I really don't know what they are selling here. So it's kind of old parts of the car. I'm not sure what is it, but it's interesting piece of in the window, in the window shop. So let's go to the beautiful uh, passage, and we will talk about Mozart. He was quite cheerful um, boy, and he was famous because the whole Europe was applauding him. Um, so that is, this is the passage. Oh, here it is. What I wanted to show to you. And Mozart had a wife. Her name was Constanza. I will show you this happy family. Um, and there was a strange story of their marriage because her mother wanted Mozart to force him to marry this lady Constanza, and he even signed some kind of the promise that uh, he would marry her, or he would have to pay kind of the penalty. And Constanza found this receipt, and at the moment she understood that her mother was forcing Mozart to marry her, she just tore it to the threads and left home. And then there was a moment when he understood that her feelings are sincere, and he decided to marry her. So we're entering the amazing pavilion. So beautiful. So they married in the most beautiful church in St. Stephen's Cathedral, and they were really happy. They were young and they enjoyed their happiness. But some historians are saying that she was not kind of fully understanding him and his life. They together had 6 children. They were married for 9 years, and together they had 6 children, but only 2 of them survived. Mozart loved his wife. He was caring and gentle, especially when she was sick, and then happened the dramatic year. The what is this place? It's kind of a passage, beautiful passage where you can come and have a cup of coffee, but it's just inside the building, and it looks like you are in not in the church but in the palace probably. So Mozart was just 35 years old, and he was very popular. His career was at the peak when um, he became very ill, and he was suffering from vomiting, from dizziness, and we don't know why, what caused his death, but he died. And Constanza was somehow having not having fun, but she was recovering from her birth, from giving the childbirth in the Baden. So probably she wasn't even present in the funeral. Uh, so the funeral of the brilliant genius Mozart was very cheap, and there were some homeless people, beggars, without any, I don't know, tribe or without any aristocratic roots. And he was buried not in a very pompous way. Um, and then his wife Constanza married for the second time, and she found the very successful diplomat. And it's interesting that she visited the cemetery for the first time after 18 years when Mozart died. Can you imagine? Like she was waiting for 18 years and then she went to this cemetery. Of course, he couldn't find his grave because he was buried probably in some kind of mass grave. She couldn't find the place where Mozart was buried. But this is the story of the genius, and she lived kind of a long life. I don't know how she died and what happened, but she lived far more than Mozart. It's interesting that he was just 35 years old, and for example, I didn't know that Mozart died so when he was so young. Just imagine how many beautiful things and compositions he could have created if he stayed alive. I wish there were some kind of medicine back then. So let's continue walking this beautiful passage. Palaz Ferzi. It's just amazing. And my next story will be about genius Strauss, the king of the waltz. And to take you to this story, let's listen to some music. Let's listen to the Strauss waltz. I will walk into the different corners. So if you, I'm not sure about connection, but there is the most beautiful kind of straight passage. And when I turned the corner, you see there are courtyards. Probably there are cafes, but now there are no visitors. And there are just the church bells and us. Yes, you can dance. We have already had a drink, so now waltzing time. Look at the stunning details. So we're going away, and I will tell you a little bit about Strauss and his life. He was called a king of waltz, and sometimes people were calling him womanizer. Thank you so much, Claudia, for tipping. Is there anything in the city to recognize Mozart? Yes, there is the special kind of Mozart house. This is the only probably house that is left after him, but I'm not sure I can show it now to you. Because I planned the visit here, and then we're going to the majestic entrance to Hofburg. Claudia will show you where Mozart used to live, and probably she will tell you more about his life and his connections with Vienna. And my last story is about Strauss. Sorry, where is this? This is kind of a passage. This is Strauss and his wife. And we are, as Claudia mentioned, in some kind of palace. But for me, it's kind of a, you can look above. I'm trying to find, I couldn't find what is the name of this palace. It's kind of a passage with beautiful archers. So Strauss was absolutely always in love. He loved women, and the ladies, of course, were enchanted by his music and by his melodies and by his charm. So he had three wives. Strauss had three wives. The first wife was Henriette, and she was the banker's mistress, and before she married Strauss, she already had seven illegitimate kids. I don't know why Strauss decided to marry her, but I'm sure he loved her. And she was 7 years older than Strauss, and they lived together 16 years. 16 years, and then she had a stroke and died, and Strauss became a widower. But as I told you, he was a king of waltz, and she made him a famous operetta composer. So I think they were happy. But his grief wasn't very long, because just 50 days after the death of his wife, he decided to tie knot again. He married for the second time, and the next girl was 25 years younger than him, and her name was Lily. And he had another wife. Of course, they were kind of they knew each other before the death of his wife, and probably just his first wife didn't know about their relationship. So they were married in the beautiful Karlschurch in Vienna. Um, but then this marriage wasn't very happy, because they had a lot of quarrels, and this lady Lily, she had a lot of relationship on the side, and that was the problem for Strauss. So they divorced, kind of mutually. They mutually decided to divorce, and finally, his favorite wife, Adele. Adele. It's interesting that she was Adele Strauss, and she was Adele Strauss even before she married Strauss. So probably this is the destiny. Uh, and he married for the third time to this lady Adele. Now I'm going to show you my favorite place, Café Central. Uh, Probably it's closed. I don't see many people standing here. Usually there is a huge line of. No, it's not closed yet. So huge line of people, and it's just amazing. No, the people are there. Everything is here. So the third wife, Adele, um, was was amazing lady, and I would like to show you a little bit of cafe, and then I will continue my story about Strauss. So the people are standing here. Let's look inside. Let's look inside. No, they will not let us look inside. So here the people are sitting. Probably we can look like this. Look at the ceiling of this cafe. It's just amazing. I will ask them. Probably they will let us go. Kent Tip, I'll catch up with you later. Hope to see you again. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I will just try to ask you. Thank you. I will just make a picture. I will not eat here. Okay, thank you. Ladies, I will just make a picture. I will not eat here. Thank you. So here, look at the cafe, and we will go. Oh, there are so many people like me standing and taking pictures. There's some kind of a gentleman, a fake gentleman sitting here. Probably he is the owner or the person who established it. And everybody is patiently waiting for their turn to join the beautiful evening. So we are going out. Okay, we have had a drink. We have danced. Now we have eaten some Sachertorte, some cake, and now it's time to go to the palace, to the beautiful Hofburg, and finish our story about Strauss. I will navigate the street. There are no horses, but a lot of cars. So when they were married he was getting married for the third time, his parents were not very happy with this idea because they thought that Adele, his third wife, wasn't good enough, wasn't didn't have enough social status to marry Strauss. But she was young and she was beautiful, and they fell in love, and they married despite the disapproval of his family. So she was his muse, she was his inspiration, and he dedicated many many his musical works to her, including this famous waltz that I played, the Blue Danube. And of course, it was difficult for the Adele to live with Strauss because he was a womanizer. He loved ladies, and he had a lot of love affairs on the side, outside of marriage, and that was the kind of the problem that caused tensions. And Adele always was hot, broken-hearted. But she remained devoted to her husband and supported him. Then she died, and he never remarried, and he always stayed kind of faithful to her. That was the love story of the amazing Strauss. You know, when I'm walking along the streets, I often think that these buildings they have seen a lot of stories, love stories and tragic stories. And when you're walking here, you can kind of feel yourself with the music and feel your soul with the beautiful history of this amazing city. Now I'm going to take you to the majestic entrance to the Hofburg Palace. It is beautifully illuminated. It is just I think the most beautiful part of our today's tour, and it is just around the corner. Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you so much, Rita. On this place, you will really feel the the mighty spirit of the empire, because Vienna, it's all about Habsburg's empire. They were ruling here more than 600 years, and somehow this empire fell, and now this city is the beautiful cultural cute city which attracts millions of people every day. But it's not empire anymore. Uh, but all these statues remind us about the fact that we all die, and even Paris die, and probably it's better to value something else, like our closest ones, our health, our own feelings, and if you if you have time, please take care about yourself, not just about those people who are around you, but about yourself, about your soul, about your body. Love yourself, and you will feel much better, and people will love you. And we have arrived to this amazing square. Thank you so much, Rita. Thank you so much, Deb, for tipping. So we are, I think it's called St. Michael's Square because there is the church. But that is what I wanted to show you. Hofburg Palace. Look how amazing it is. And now I'm going to walk with you through this beautiful passage, show you these huge titans, and we will see how everything looks at night. It's just unforgettable to be here. Look how amazing it is. Even at night, it's so huge. It's about grandeur, it's about the perfect palace. It's a top site of Vienna. So we're just in the heart of the city. It was constructed initially during the Middle Ages. So in the 13th century, it was kind of formed, but it was changed during the many years of its existence. And the name translates the castle of the court. And it reflects the fact that it was built many years ago. So it grew over the ages, and Habsburgs had to have something that kind of belonged to their huge monumental scale. It's more like the city than the palace. There are 18 different separated wings, and they were designed by their different architects and the different uh, in Paris. So that story is about the most powerful people of Europe, because Habsburg's empire was one of the strongest empires in Europe. As I understand, these guys are fighting with the water monsters like the fish, for example. Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you, Linda. And that is kind of a water dragon, and the titans from the other side, they are fighting from the land creatures. So Habsburgs managed to build a huge empire and the huge palace to live. Now we will go through this Baroque splendor, and you will see the huge monumental scale of this palace. So when you're moving to the new place, you always want to make some kind of changes, some kind of adjustments, and every single emperor they were was adding something to this place. That is why you're walking through the Baroque part, and then you will find yourself in the classical part. But the one thing is doesn't change. It's that is very big, huge, and monumental. So now it's a collection of buildings, and here you will find the library, the squares, the halls, and they were building it wing after wing. And the bodies of the Habsburgs are laid here, but their kind of inner organs are in the crypt in St. Stephen's Cathedral. That is the entrance to the Susi Museum. We have talked about her today. So everything is just screaming about great status and about wealth and power. It's very big, and the whole complex has about more than 2,000 rooms. Really, when you're walking here, you understand that you are walking in the place which belonged to the king. And actually, nothing has changed. It served for the political power back then, and now it's also served as a museum and the place where the president is ruling from. Actually, you can see three different sections here in Hofburg: the Imperial Apartments, CC Museum, and the Silver Collection. And when you go inside, you will see the huge collection of silver tableware, the rooms of the Emperor and Princess Sisi. Um, and it's possible also to visit the treasury and the Spanish writing school and the library, but you need to pay extra for that. And the oldest part of Hofburg is Royal Chapel. It's probably dark there. I will not take you here. So it's time to finish our tour. And this is I think, the most beautiful place to finish it. It's so majestic and just as beautiful as the whole city is. Let me position my camera like this, and I will tell you my goodbyes. See you in Paris, see you in Prague, see you in Kiev, and probably you will you will join me to see more impressive things of this world. Thank you for your hearts.